Hello, everybody. I'm happy to be back with another young Indian, part of the Voice of the Young series. Right now, we have with us Piyush Zaware. Let's listen to him. Over to you, Piyush.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Subodh. I'm glad that you had me over this session. And yeah, I'm a mechanical engineer by my undergrad education, who had his fair share of research experiences with research organizations in India. I worked in the research domain of turbo machinery and vibrations, and then uh, I love this. I love to put it this way that differential equations in engineering didn't work for me. That is the reason I moved to economics, and I'm doing statistics and regressions every day for a living.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, jokes apart, uh, I come, I don't know, I originally come from a very small hamlet of Maharashtra. It's near Mumbai, a couple of hours drive from Mumbai. And I grew up there. I had a very decent education, I believe, that brought me here. So the place where I come from, it wasn't as educationally aware as most tier two, tier three cities in India are or were back at that time. The educational situation has improved a lot, but back in those days we had a few English medium schools, and it is kinda crazy to think about it that way. And whenever I talk with my colleagues and peers and experience and listen to their school experiences, I'm kinda startled that I have a very different opinion about schooling. So I was glad that I went to a decent school despite being from a not so good locality in Maharashtra. I'm thankful to my parents who made it all possible. And then, yeah, I did my undergrad in mechanical engineering from Thapar Institute of Engineering and Technology, Patiala. Uh, I was in Punjab for 4 years, and then I had my gigs at IIT Delhi, IIT Ropar in core mechanical research and vibration dynamics, yeah, which led me to have a publication in that domain. And then a pivotal moment happened, and I switched to economics, and now I'm doing Master of Public Policy at the University of Chicago.
Yeah, good journey. Tell us more about why you pivoted in this way.
Yeah, so back during my undergrad, I had the opportunity of I was always involved in debating and debating circles. So but I never saw public policy as a career pathway. During my undergrad, I had an opportunity of being a visiting research scholar at the at a very prestigious Italian institute, Politecnico di Milano. I was accepted for a 6 month research position over there, and something trivial happened with the administration of my college, and they didn't allow me to go to Italy. So I had to settle for going on a research journey at IIT Delhi, and I was very disappointed at the fact that I couldn't make it to Italy. But then, when I look back at the entire journey, how I pivoted to public policy and economics, Delhi played a pivotal role. I went to Delhi. Went to research under a wonderful professor, Dr. Ashish Kamlakar Darpe. I would like to mention him. I still look. I'll always look up to him, given his work ethic and given his commendable research commitment towards whatever he's doing. That that journey at IIT Delhi taught me a lot. It made me a lot more disciplined, made me understand the nuances of how hardcore research is being done. And as an undergrad and undergraduate student, especially in India, you don't get that level of exposure to core research. So I went through literature, I did hardcore research. He was kind enough to have me over with in his research talks, in his research seminars, and he used to take regular research updates as if I was a master's student. And then being at Delhi, I was exposed to a lot other things, including uh, seminars at the Jawaharlal Nehru University, seminars at DU, seminars at Bharat Mandapam. One such pivotal moment happened when Akinda was invited to the Observer Research Foundation's Raisina Dialogue, which is India's premier foreign affairs dialogue hosted by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and jointly by the ORF. And there I had a chance meeting with Dr. Samir Patel, who is a deputy director at ORF. And ever since then, he has been a guide throughout this journey. I later worked upon with him and assisted him on a research publication on cyber offensive, cyber defensive operations in Asia. So I attended that conference. I met a lot of people, including the Honorable Foreign Affairs Minister, Dr. Jaishankar, and his son, Mr. Dhruva, who has been throughout this journey. And I had a talk with a lot of people, and they said, oh, maybe why don't you think of this as a career choice? And it led, so the application season was on. I had applied to master's programs in mechanical engineering, and the deadline was approaching, and I reframed everything. I had already given entrances and applied to public policy programs across US. And yeah, that surprisingly got me in because I had letter of recommendations and a few other things, good grades, obviously. That got me in. And I don't know, I was very disappointed back when I couldn't make it to Italy. But now when I look back, the entire IIT thing happened and that led to where I am. So I read this quote somewhere, and your viewers should definitely look at this quote. And it is something that was said by Mr. Amitabh Bachchan's father, Dr. Harivansh Rai Bachchan. It goes in Hindi. I have this quote in my wall, and I take it everywhere. It goes by, "Man ka ho to acha, na ho to aur bhi acha." So that is very symbolic to what happened with me, and I think that will stay wherever I go. So yeah, that is how the entire shift happened.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this question. Since you decided to shift, first, why not India for public policy? Why
So
go? Why go abroad?
yeah. So I looked up to the flexibility of master's programs in India, and I had been to IITs, I had been to IIMs for a few competitions, and I I didn't wanted to do MBA. I wanted to do public policy or something which is closely related to economics. One difference that I find in American education or education abroad and Indian education is that a student in America can do history and computer science together, but I don't think there is a provision for such flexibility in our Indian education system. That is one thing which prompted me to switch to the United States and look for better opportunities abroad instead of pursuing the same thing in India.
Okay, good. So now you have decided to go abroad. Then how did you choose the country? And how did you choose the place? What were the alternate? I'm asking on behalf of
Yeah,
the juniors, no? What were
yeah.
the alternatives you considered and what drove you to Chicago?
Yeah. So when I started my research about public policy program and what all alternatives I had, I bumped into a few programs in the United Kingdom. I was looking at the other universities in Europe too. Especially, I looked at a few universities in Germany, but then I got to then I looked at their programs, the courses that they offered, and they weren't very quant heavy. Being from an engineering background, I have always loved mathematics and finance and quantitative stuff. So I shortlisted schools in the United States which had courses which are quantitatively very heavy. Uh, it is then that I got to know about the University of Chicago and how they run a very rigorous, quant-heavy, difficult Master in Public Policy program, where I believe it is as similar as if you're doing a hardcore economics program, because the courses that we have over here are very economically oriented. We have microeconomics, we have statistics, and then University of Chicago's program gave me the flexibility to look into, let's suppose I want to take a real analysis course from the mathematics department. I can very well do that as a master's student in public policy. And while while going through readings, I stumbled upon a few economic concepts, Friedman, Dr. Friedman, a few other Nobel laureates, Dr. James Heckman, and I was startled by the entire mathematical heavy work by Professor Lars Hansen. Dr. Raghuram Rajan has been a pivotal figure that I look up to. And I think these professors and the entire academia and research oriented environment at University of Chicago made me choose University of Chicago over a few other alternatives that I had in the United States. Also,
So what were those
I,
alternatives?
yeah. So uh, I got into uh, Columbia University for MPA, Public Administration. I got into Georgetown. I got into George Washington University. I got into uh, Georgia Tech. I was into uh, Fletcher School, and I think U Chicago's rankings and the entire rigorous academic environment made me choose U Chicago over other avenues.
Well, I must say you were very successful in your applications.
Oh,
Congratulations on that. I mean,
yeah,
it's
thank
a
you,
great job to do that. Yeah, but Chicago is certainly a well-known place and certainly well established, and it opens. So, how do you see your future? Again, I'm asking for other people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So over here, I'm presently. I mean, I had the I have the pleasure of working with one Nobel laureate that I have always looked up to, Dr. James Heckman. I'm working with him,
yeah,
uh, assessing impact of early childhood education programs on early on parenting and other economic aspects.
yeah.
There was an RCT run in Ireland. I'm reassessing that, and that is something which I am enjoying. On the other side, I'm working as a research assistant to Dr. Thomas Coleman,
Yeah.
who is working in the field of US Treasury bonds, and we are in the process of estimating a new mathematical technique of deriving the US Treasury curves. So I was involved in the mathematical aspect of it.
Okay.
So going through, I am enjoying this journey, and I plan to pursue a PhD in either economics or finance. I'm not sure about what I'll be doing, but yeah, uh, it will be either finance or it will be either financial economics. Apart from this, I've been invited by Harvard to present my policy paper on increasing access to agricultural credit in India, and I'll be presenting it sooner over the next weekend at Harvard. So that
Okay.
is another thing. So I think I plan to stay in academia in the longer run. Plan
Okay.
to pursue a PhD. Yeah, that is for sure.
All right. Well, you are certainly working with high-profile people, very, very high-profile people. And that's a big advantage because your fellow students are equally competitive and tough, and
Yeah.
it really makes a big impact. Okay. All right. You've had a good journey from Panvel to Chicago.
Yeah.
Quite a journey. I should congratulate you on that remarkable
Thank you.
journey. All right, wonderful. Okay. Any tips you have for young people?
Yeah. I think one thing I would like to say is, like, I mean, I have a few idols in my life, and you can see one of them is right behind me. I have a poster of Roger Federer. I idolize such I idolize Sachin Tendulkar, and I idolize Abhinav Bindra and Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, who I think is been a role model for me in how to do, what to do, when to do, and I mean planning and execution and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So people my age should look up to other people, which I think is lacking in people my generation.
Mm.
I have also started writing opinions on I published two opinions in the Hindu and one in the Hindustan Times. So I keep writing about how youth in India should be reshaped. But yeah, having said that, uh, people should start dreaming because dreaming doesn't require any capital investment, and you can dream about whatever you want and make sure that you follow your aspirations, do the right thing, put in the right number of hours.
Mm.
I won't dwell a lot on the number of hours because the number of hour debate has been spreading out like anything in India.
Yeah.
But yeah, you should dream, you should make sure that you chase your dreams, and I think dreams do come true. If a guy like me can come all the way from Panvel to Chicago, I'm sure anyone else in India can do whatever they want to.
Yeah.
It's just that they have to be honest with themselves. Don't fool themselves. Don't fool yourself. You have to be honest with yourself in whatever you're doing. And yeah, be kind, be empathetic, and yeah, stay humble, stay foolish.
Okay. All right. Okay. It's my usual practice. Okay. First, let me once again say it's really very impressive. Okay. What you've done and what you hope to do. Both are very impressive. Okay. But it's my usual practice to give the speaker the final word. What's your final comment from in this talk?
Yeah, I mean, again, thanks a lot for having me over here uh, on your YouTube series, and I'm really glad that you thought I am able enough to make it over here on your YouTube channel. And final thoughts to youngsters who are planning their journey, or basically anyone who's doing anything. It's not that I have achieved anything and I'm in a position to advise anyone. Believe in your parents, believe in whatever they say, believe in whatever you want to do, dream, dream, and dream, and make sure your dreams come true.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much about it.
Okay, fine. Thank you, Piyush. I'm
Yeah,
so glad to have had you here. Don't go away. I'll be
yeah,
back. I want to talk to you offline because I don't want to talk during the recording.
yeah.
So,
Okay.
all right. So I'll be back with another young person or an expert soon. Till then, bye.